Back here cage side at the Knoxville Civic Coliseum. Valor fights 47 downtown Knoxville, live at flowcombat.com. Vince Ferrara, Casey Oxendine, and Doug Usher, your announce crew here tonight as we enter the pro portion of our card here tonight. We'll get things started in the cruiserweight division at 140 pounds. This bout presented by Chips Transmissions. It's pro Muay Thai as John GQ Henning takes on Little Country Len Cook. To officially introduce our fighters, we go to the cage and Jennifer Oxendine.
Our next bout of the evening is a professional Muay Thai kickboxing bout and is a catchweight at 140 pounds. Brought to you by Chips Transmissions. First, please welcome to the cage, John Henning.
John Henning, his pro debut in Muay Thai. His cruiserweight bout at 140 pounds. Henning comes in from Charlotte, North Carolina. Casey, tell us about Henning.
Well, I'll say this, man. We've called a lot of John Henning's fights, and the one thing that stands out that he always comes to bang. And typically, when you see him come up on the losing end, it's because he's been taken down and held down. He's unable to kind of run free on the feet. In this situation, that's not going to be the case. It's a standing rules only. It's a professional Muay Thai, so you're going to see a little bit of clinch work. For the most part, these guys are going to be banging.
John Henning, his opponent will be Len Cook. What can you tell us about Cook?
Well, Len Cook's a guy that I've known for many, many years. He comes from the region I come from, and he was one of the top stars of mixed martial arts up until about 5 years ago. And we saw him in some of the major organizations, and there came a point where he took some time off, and I talked to him yesterday about it, and he said, you know, he needed to kind of get away. He started coaching. Of course, he's the coach there at Champion Striking, and he said that a few months turned into 5 years, and now he's back. But he says he's in a better place, and he's going to come back as a debut all over again here in professional Muay Thai. And I think that he's going to be up to the task tonight. I think both of them will be up to the task and make a tremendous showing.
You see Mark Laws with our cut man, the best in the biz. Mark Laws with John Henning, and Henning very experienced, going back to his making his pro Muay Thai debut, but he's a former amateur MMA champion, had 17 fights as an MMA competitor, and as Casey mentioned, we've called a number of his fights in the Valor Fights organization. Very aggressive, solid chin, and he will stay on his feet tonight as part of the pro Muay Thai rules. Back to Jennifer.
And his opponent making his way to the cage. Please welcome Len Cook.
Little Country Len Cook, pro debut out of Champion Striking. Not only is he the head coach at Champion Striking Academy, he's also the owner. And he's also tough and skilled as a striker, solid kicks, punches. What about the rust factor? Casey, we've seen it both ways, where sometimes guys are out for an extended period of time. Maybe they've gone into coaching, decided to come back. Sometimes they show that rust. Other times they do not. You have a sense for how it might go for Cook.
So anytime you step into the cage, there is a primal chemical thing that happens inside of you, and it causes you to have the nerves and your body to react a certain way. The more you're in the cage, typically the less you have, because the more you're used to that situation. So when you've been out for 5 years, it's almost like coming to the cage for the first time. Now, that being said, if he is focused, he's a little bit older now, if he's focused and can keep it contained, then he may not be affected as much. But that being said, you know, it is something you see a whole lot, and one would expect a little bit of rust, at least in the early goings of this fight.
Take a look at the tail of the tape between John Henning and Len Cook in his cruiserweight professional Muay Thai bout presented by Chips Transmissions. You see Henning 1 year younger than Len Cook, 5 inches taller, both of them making their pro Muay Thai debut. Cook weighed in at 139 pounds, Henning at 142. You know, the whole aspect of ring rust. A guy like Dominic Cruz, he says ring rust is not a thing. It's all in your head. While other fighters say, no, it is real. What do you think about ring rust?
It depends on how you're training. If you take a lot of time off from training and fighting as well, and then try to come back, it is a factor. But if you're actively training then usually it's not.
We'll come back to that topic and revisit it. Back to Jennifer.
This battle is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 142 pounds. Fights out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and tonight he is making his professional Muay Thai kickboxing debut, John GQ Henning. And his opponent across the cage to my left, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 139 pounds. Fights out of Champion Striking in Bristol, Tennessee. And tonight he is making his professional Muay Thai kickboxing debut, Little Country, Lynn Cook. Your referee when the action begins is Jimmy Neely.
Jimmy Neely, our referee in this pro Muay Thai bout in the cruiserweight division at 140 pounds, presented by Chips Transmissions. John Henning in the long black trunks, Len Cook in the shorter black and green trunks. 3 3-minute rounds is what we're scheduled for, and we are underway here in Knoxville. Valor Fights 47 live at flowcombat.com. Pro Muay Thai rules. Revisit those if you could for us, Casey, for everybody.
Well, I mean, it is striking rules. You're going to be allowed to clinch up on the inside, throw the knees. And, of course, for professional, you're allowed to go knees to the head.
And, of course, the full-size boxing gloves.
And the elbows, which can be absolutely devastating. And, of course, no shin guards. That is for all professional combat sports. You see Lynn Cook there. Looking pretty smooth there. Little trip, but that's okay. That happens. GQ Henning, of course, the southpaw. He's wearing the tight spandex. You see more of a MMA style of kickboxing, even though it is Muay Thai rules.
Clinch and separate, and they'll reset. Doug, what are you seeing early on here?
Still pretty much a filling out process. I feel like Henning is staying on the outside a lot, and he's trying to pick and choose his shots, but he has a good tie clinch, but he let it go.
Cook looks pretty comfortable for a guy that hadn't been in there for 5 years, right?
Yeah, he looked like he didn't miss any time off, like he was in there yesterday.
A ton of action here early on in this Muay Thai matchup.
There you go, left kick by Henning, countered by Lynn Cook.
Shot to the body by Cook.
Oh, nice overhand right there by Lynn Cook. Ooh, another stiff right hand by Lynn Cook.
Right down the middle.
Now we'll see this with ring rust. It doesn't always come on in the first round or at the beginning of the fight. It could materialize later on, second and third round, because if you've got a lot of adrenaline, that may help you in the first round, get you started fast, but you could possibly dump in the second. You really are going to know how he's going to perform coming out into that second round. But for right now, I agree. Lynn Cook looks great. John Henning looks great. He's finding his placement here a little bit more in the closing moments of this first round.
Nice jab there by Henning as he continues to look at the body. Talk about that eye position, where you want to focus on, Doug. You can see Henning, he's looking down at the chest area of Len Cook, as opposed to where someone that maybe wouldn't realize it, they'd be looking at the other guy's eyes or head, right?
Right. You tend to want to look at the waist, the torso region, maybe the lower chest, because you can watch the entire body. You can see where the knee, the kick, the punch, you can see the shoulders open up for the punch. You can see the guy when he sets his feet, sets his hips to strike. So that's pretty the ideal place you would want to look on your opponent. Just like very similar to football, when a cornerback is checking a wide receiver, they watch the hips,
Right,
to see which direction the receiver is going to take.
yeah, and it's something that coaches and people that follow football, they hear about the word eye discipline. You got to know what you're looking at, and they're the keys to what your opponent is going to do.
It's really, you see a lot of novice will be kicking the legs, he'll be looking at the legs, and it's something you've got to kind of work out of a fighter.
Underway in round number 2. How would you guys? Nice Superman punch there by Cook. How would you guys score that first round?
I scored for Cook. He landed more shots. And that leg kick is working for Cook. But if you guys can see, the right side of Cook is red from that liver kick. Henning just landed another liver kick to that side, which is why Cook is dropping his right arm to cover his liver, because I've counted 3 clean liver kicks that's landed.
And now he closes the distance. I believe you're right. I think he's feeling that. And I will say this, I agree with you. I think Lynn Cook took the first round on the scorecards, but I think I saw Henning start to come on towards the end of that first round, getting more of that swagger, because he's known to be more of a playful top fighter with the antics and so forth, and he does his best when he's in that form, and he's starting to pick that up. Yeah, and you can see that the coloration there under the right armpit there of Lynn Cook.
Big spinning a kick attempt by Cook. Came up empty. See if Henning can try to draw those arms back up of Cook so he can attack that liver again.
Right. Look for him to keep attacking that liver and watch for that right hand to drop. And then he's going to bring that left kick high. As a southpaw myself, that's what we tend to do. We'll attack low, attack low, attack low, get you stuck on thinking low, and then we'll come high.
Nice kick there by Lynn Cook. GQ there, though, he's really good on his feet, moving around well.
In case he's not checking any leg kicks, though. Those kicks will begin to slow him down towards the end of this round, going into the third round.
Talking about Henning?
Yes. Henning's not checking any of the leg kicks.
Oh, nice combo.
Big combination there by Henning, a 1-2. Another stiff left hand. Again, I feel like now Henning is getting his timing, his tempo, and his pace.
Head kick partially blocked by GQ. Big looping shots by Cook.
All of those antics, all those motions, they work in the favor of John Henning. Even though, in my estimation, Lynn Cook may still be up in this round, technically speaking. Nice kick there.
Well, you could see Henning just in a real comfort zone right now.
Nice. Nice knee there by Henning.
And Cook trips him up right at the end, a little influence maybe.
You see a little stagger there by John Henning. That leg's he's definitely feeling it. That being said, these guys aren't standing and squaring off like you would see typical Muay Thai match where you're going to see him land 40, 50, 60 leg kicks in a row. But still, you can see him definitely limping off that leg kick. Man, I think that was a really, really close round with Henning maybe coming in with those multiple combinations there, the 1-2 shots, landing really solid, and then getting out of the way of a lot of Lynn Cook.
Take us to this replay here, Casey.
You see here, there was the knee, and there it was, 1-2, boom, very, very clean. And you see Lynn Cook looking to fire back. He was nowhere in range. And again, it may be that Lynn Cook might be slowing down just a little bit with the ring rust. You know what I'm saying? He came out really, really strong in the first, and so he might be battling that right now. But only time will tell how he performs in this third and final round.
Doug, who would you give that second round to?
I give it to Henning. He landed a lot of clean, solid punches.
Cook on the attack early on here in round number 3, scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Nice kick by Cook.
Good timing by Lynn Cook.
Could very well be tied at 1 round apiece, as Casey mentioned. Fight coming down to this third and final round.
Short right hand there by Henning, using his reach advantage. Another stiff jab.
His jabs have been effective for GQ. I think jabbed at the midsection of Cook.
Clean hook.
Yeah, as Cook was charging in.
And there it is, the left hand finding its placement. Lynn Cook staying active with those kicks. Not a lot of clinch in this fight.
Corner telling
Another
GQ.
one there, a short right hook there by Henning. Stiff left. John Henning making Lynn Cook miss now.
It's that high kick I was talking about.
Corner wants GQ to be more active.
Left hand by Lynn Cook, followed up with a left kick. And then Henning right back to that torso. Doug Lynn's gonna feel that tomorrow.
Yeah, he is. His side is red.
Oh, another stiff left hand.
Down to the final minute of this fight. Very much up in the air. See if one of these fighters can get a flurry to influence the judges and win this fight.
Another takedown.
Cook staying on the attack.
Doug, talk about those takedowns, man. You know, it's like, it's a trip, it doesn't score, but it can take the wind out of your sails if you're not careful.
Correct. It scores, it doesn't actually score points, but it scores in the judge's eyes for aggression. So those are pretty detrimental.
And we saw one at the end of the first 2 rounds too, as both guys trying to put that in the little bank for the judges. So how do you score that third round in the fight, Doug?
I give the fight 2 rounds to 1 for Lynn.
For Lynn Cook.
Yes, 2 rounds to 1 for Lynn Cook.
It's a toss-up for me. It's a hard one to call because Henning, he was slipping and landing those left hands, and he landed a lot of them, but he wasn't following anything up. So he was landing that shot. It wasn't necessarily buckling the knees of Lynn Cook, but there were a lot of them there. But Lynn Cook stayed very, very busy with those kicks, just like that. He was doing a lot of work, and so yeah, I mean, I think it's an argument for either one of them. I mean, I think this could be a split decision right here.
You see both of them doing work here in the replay. You know, probably that 1-2 combination in the second round was maybe the cleanest strikes we saw in the fight, Doug. But you know, you could definitely make a case for both of them. Henning looked more, I don't know, more comfortable. I don't know if that's the right word, but he just looked like he settled in. But Cook certainly had his moments also, and maybe had the volume that some judges might like.
Yeah, it was definitely more volume from Cook. Henning looked like he was pretty relaxed and comfortable sitting back on the outside, but Lynn kept throwing those leg kicks over and over and over, and Henning checked a couple of them, but he ate a lot of them also. He's kind of walking with a little bit of a limp right now on that leg that was getting kicked, that lead leg. But those leg kicks score points, man. A lot of people don't realize that. They add up and they score points.
Our judges tonight, as we go into the judges' scorecards in this pro Muay Thai bout, Lisa Duran, Jason Kubik, and Dustin Watson. Timekeeper tonight, Valor Fights 47. Live at flowcombat.com, Tiffany Jenkins. Our fight doctor, Dr. Nathan Elliott. Cutman, best in the biz, Mark Laws. And we will see via the judges' scorecards who takes this pro Muay Thai bout. We've still got some terrific professional MMA bouts on the way, including our main event, Jason King against Stephen Hague. Our co-main, Alex Riggs taking on Keith Olson. Shamir Peshewa taking on Natalie King in a women's pro bantamweight bout. Plus James Conway versus Jordan Weeks in a pro welterweight bout. Another pro welterweight bout that's next, Roy Sanders against Shantae Barnes. So that's still what's in store for you here live on flowcombat.com at the Knoxville Civic Coliseum with Doug Usher and Casey Oxendine. I am Vince Ferrara. We'd love for you to give Valor Fights a follow on all the social media at Valor Fights on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram as well, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. All right, so we go to the judges' scorecards, and to find out the decision, we go back to Jennifer.
After 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to your judges' scorecard for decision. Judge Kubik scores this bout 28-29. Judge Watson 28-29, and Judge Doran 27-30 for your winner by unanimous decision. Out of the blue corner, Little Country, Len Cook.